I don't want to just criticize the government response to COVID-19. Let's be productive. Let's suggest what they could actually do. So one of the biggest issues, we're gonna bring this up, this is early COVID-19 testing per capita. So based on how many people you have, how many tests you're doing. Let's take a look, and you're gonna see that we have a population of 329 million people, the largest of all of those countries. And you can barely see the 23 tests per million people, whereas other countries, including countries that have been relatively more successful in limiting it, are doing far more testing. And that has, from the very beginning, been the biggest issue and one that Donald Trump refuses for the most part to even talk about. Now, currently, catching up to today, according to the AEI, 16,030 COVID-19 tests can be processed in the US a day, up from a little bit under 8,000 a few days ago. South Korea has been running more than 10,000 per day since February, even though they are a far smaller country. And the issue is that maximum capacity does not mean that that's how many tests are actually being done. You've probably seen accounts from all over the country of individuals saying that they have reason to believe that they have COVID-19, but because their symptoms aren't so bad that they would need to be hospitalized for it, they can't get tested right now. And people have been asking for weeks, when are you gonna make more tests available? What is taking so long? And Trump does not want to talk about that. And what, in terms of the Republican ability to put pressure on Trump, the Democrats last night rolled out their bill to try to help this situation, take some of the economic pressure off of everyone. And no, they're not taking up that bill. They said it falls short, even though they don't have anything. And in fact, a McConnell ally says the Senate won't take up a House bill until after a recess. Senator Lamar Alexander said the Senate will act when we come back, and we have a clear idea of what extra steps we need to take. So that's in maybe 12 days. And I got news for you. In Italy, the number of infections in a 12-day span went up by more than 10 times. We could have 10,000, 15, 20,000 cases by the time they finally get back to town and decide to take this up. Because I don't know if Lamar Alexander knows this, but COVID-19 is not going on recess just because you want a break to go home and fundraise.
Luckily, by the time we get to those 15, 20,000 cases, it'll be April. And then by April, it's getting warmer, right? Of course, because
that's what we've heard.
You know, it's 85 degrees in April across the United States. So once it gets warmer in April, it's all gonna be taken care of anyway. Again, I'm referring back to it only because we forget the things that he has said and done just a couple weeks ago that have contributed to this or have ignored the problem. It's maddening, and if you bring it up, you're a hater, you're deranged, the Trump derangement syndrome. But what's happening with the actual numbers going on in our country? You can't deny it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.